So the next definition is ceiling strut, and we'll go over the definition in a moment, but I've only really seen this a couple of times, and the time it actually occurred maybe 3 or 4 years ago, where what this client needed to do was, or the application was, 3087.5. You know, that all those fun sizes between 8.0 and 9.0, where you've stock 9.0 wood doors in birch and oak and cherry and walnut and mahogany and maple with 14-inch bottom rails, and you can just cut them down real easy. The hollow metal frames, you know, stick material, you punch the hinge locations, not a big deal. But in this application, they were literally running the doors flush to the underside of a suspended ceiling. For whatever reason, this is what they were doing. They were burying the header above the ceiling line or in the plenum space, and they couldn't run studs horizontally to secure the top of the header. And so in this instance, the client described to me what, you know, I said to him, well, I think that's called the ceiling strut. Oh yeah, that's what we did. They took their frames and they shot them down to the concrete slab, and then they ran steel structure up to the underside of the joists, and that's how they kept all that together without moving. Some sort of an angular brace was likely employed to keep the door from doing this. Obviously, a ceiling strut straight to the ceiling is not the only solution, is not the only thing that you do. That door comes out at 90 degrees, now all your weight is like this. But it was just, the client's call to me was about hardware and how to solve some aspect of the hardware because of how tight the ceiling line was to the top of the door. But ceiling strut. So let's switch to the screen view and let's take a look at the SDI definition. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. So here's the definition. Ceiling strut. An adjustable member extending vertically from frame to a rigid support above to hold the frame in place. And that's what they're showing us. I've never had hollow metal frames made with ceiling struts, but I know that accommodations have been made either in our shop or in the field to anchor the frame above the header line when you don't have anything happening up here in traditional sort of partition or masonry construction. So very simply that. I guess how you go about devising what type of ceiling strut, if you find out after the fact that you or your client needs to provision an anchoring method above the header in such a way, you know, you'll end up using what you can use. You're probably going to want to think that through beforehand. If they are fire-rated frames, you know, you're obviously going to want to have the factory make any and all modifications to the frame. I can't tell you how this may or may not impact the ability to have a label on the frame, but I wouldn't just be installing it in the field on a fire frame for sure, on a fire-rated opening, modifying it in this type of method. So yeah, the ceiling strut goes all the way to the ceiling. There's no doubt. The means by which they've employed to anchor it, I would think, has a very strong amount of resistance to movement, because apparently this bar sort of profile with this wedge that's inserted into here to keep it quite secure. Nothing's going to move. You know, the frame is shot to the floor, so it's not going down, and it's not lifting up by means of that wedge sort of system. Is what I'm seeing here. Okay, so I don't even know if the Seco catalog has any sort of mention of ceiling strut. Let's just pull up their document and see their catalog. Yeah, there's not even a mention of ceiling or strut in the price book. So, not that it doesn't occur in other people's price books. If anyone may have it, it might be Pioneer. I don't know what documentation. Pioneer floor anchor technical sheet. Yeah, okay. Just adjustable floor anchors. Yeah, not much. I'm going to make the conclusion that it's not a real common thing to ask the factory to provide for you, is the bottom line. Okay. So the next definition is center rail, C-rail. Yeah, we'll talk about center rail. I might know that as a mid-rail or a lock rail, but there's definitely going to be doors that have top rails and bottom rails and then another horizontal member to it, and that's going to be the center or the mid-rail. Let's move on to that.
Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.